Sharon. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'll share it on mine too.
Cool. There we go.
All right. Hey, look, someone approved the post already.
Look at that. Oh, we got someone watching. Oh, it's probably me. It's probably me. Oh, we got Trevor. Hey, Trevor.
Trevor came over today. I was gone at the time when he did it, but he staged all our effects, all of our explosive effects on a palette, and has them set up on a remote that he can hit from his phone.
Not gonna lie, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so after I've just about had my full MP5 built, Evike just dropped this sweet new body kit for it. So you have a monolithic upper. It's by UTG. I saw it before, but now we can get it. And it's like $200, give or take. And so I'm debating, is it worth it? And the answer right now is no. But inside the answer is yes.
Is that the one with the continuous top rail, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. Do that with the ACR stock, though. It's basically turning to an AR, and that's exactly what I want.
It's an AR with little mags.
And that's ideal in my mind. Oh, we got like a bunch of people on here. Look at that. 7 people. Hello, everyone.
Like I was talking the other day, and I can't. So he's ordering one of the new CGS system gas blowbacks. And
see, I know what that is.
The Cyma gas system. It's an
yeah.
MWS copy, but they're like really high quality.
Yeah.
And they're really expensive. But Blake decided he wanted one, so he spent like his whole paycheck on one. And I kind of at some point I think I want to try it, but I've gotten so into this HPA stuff that I'm thinking about getting one of the Magwell adapters. And I think I want to run MP5 mags in the Magwell.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, just super slim, and you can carry tons of them. They'd be awesome for the factory.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about my setup for the factory like nonstop. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but that MP5 is going to be like perfect when it's done.
Cool.
Especially just running a slick chest rig and a paintball mask, dude. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, welcome to the live stream this week. Go ahead. If you guys have any questions, tickets are now live on the site. Let me drop that link in the chat if I can. There we go. Nope, that's the wrong link.
While we're waiting, make sure you like and comment and share. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, if you're on YouTube, you should subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, because I think once the factory opens up and we start actually getting a lot of indoor footage, I can imagine we're probably going to get a lot of videos posted. I'm working on a video right now that I hope is going to be posted before the end of the week with a good friend of mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
It'll be a gun overview, so it'll be fun.
Awesome. But yeah, if you guys got any questions about the factory or anything like that, we've dropped the ROE, which is in the ticket thing. If you guys want to read through that, more than happy to answer questions there. Ammon will be joining us here from the factory here in a few minutes to kind of show an update there. We're making some progress. It's getting really exciting. It's coming together. Joseph, do you want to talk any more about that?
Well, I think we're getting like a newsroom here. It's like me and Derek are like the anchor, use anchors. Like, hey, we're going to bring it to Ammon over in the factory. Ammon, how you doing? We'll get to that point. So, yeah, this week was busy. I didn't get a chance to go over there and work it today, but that's what I'm going to be doing right after this. So the nice thing is it's like 5 minutes away, so I can go straight from here to over there. Long story short, over the last several days, basically since we took over the lease 5 days ago, we have framed up all of the rooms, which is, I got to count really quick, nine individual rooms, and they are large rooms. And an entire wall to separate the staging area from the playing field, obviously. And tonight we are going to be anchoring all of that framing to the floors and to the walls, so it's all rock solid. And then tomorrow we're going to be sheeting everything, so that's putting the plywood, the OSB plywood, on all the buildings, cutting out the windows and doors. And then we'll start all the midsection movable cover items that are going to go in there. So I know we haven't posted like a layout of the field yet, but for anyone who hasn't kind of seen or heard us talk about it, the idea is we're going to have basically 2 separate rows of rooms on either side of the 45-foot room. And each of those rooms varies in size between like 8 by 12 to like some of them are 8 by 16, some of them are 12 by 12. So very variant rooms. The idea behind that is we wanted to have lots of different angles and lots of different rooms to accommodate airsoft and training. And I'm really, really confident that the way that we have this laid out is going to be a dream come true and a worst nightmare at the same time for everybody. Because it is like you're going to have to really think about it all the time and what you're exposing and where you are and who can see you. Because if you don't, you're just going to get wiped out. Which is a great exercise in mental agility.
I think the other thing too is that we've got some different ways we've been talking about where we can change the what doors and windows are exposed, and so the field won't be stagnant. I think there's one other thing that I think we should clarify there with the movable cover. It's not going to be mobile cover for play. It's going to be things that we can move around to change the field. It's all going to be heavy enough where you guys don't need to worry about knocking it over or anything like that. It's not so you can like people run around with riot shields, but stacks of tires that we can move between weeks and things like that. So the field will continuously feel new, change the gameplay, all that stuff. But it's not like guys running around with riot shields the whole entire time, because let's be real, it's no fun for anyone having that kind of play. So
exactly. So it's stuff that we can change and update whenever we want, or if we get a good suggestion from somebody like, hey, can we maybe try moving this over there and see how it plays? We'll totally do that. On top of that, like for some of the classes that we're going to be doing, we can move all that mobile cover out of the way and totally change the layout of that midsection, even add buildings if we want to make it more of like a congested urban area, or whatever. We can turn it into a garage and turn it into a street and run scenarios. It's honestly super versatile, and I'm super excited to actually get it finished so that we can really try it out. So it'll be awesome.
Yeah, I think for those who are going to the World War II game on Saturday, you guys will get a quick little exposure to that, and I think that's going to be really good kind of trial run on things, which will be fun. Yeah.
So I guess let's talk about some of the PPE stuff, because there's going to be.
I think even before jumping into that, Joseph, let's talk about ticketing really quick. So tickets only available online right now. You go to the ADV Pro Training and go to Airsoft, or go to our advantageairsoft.com and click on Play at the Factory, and both of those are going to link to the same place. And you book it by session. There's 30 slots open for every session. For December, we're going to be open every single day Tuesday through Saturday. And then starting January, if we fill every single slot for December, then we'll stay open on those hours most likely. But we'll also probably see a decrease in hours in January as well. Because I think the plan right now, as of tonight at 7:30, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the plan, and then we'll be using it for training or other special events other nights. Is the current plan for that.
Someone mentioned earlier, and we may want to clarify this just on our description, but the sessions are going to be 4 hours long. So when the ticket says 6 o'clock, don't show up at 6 o'clock. That's when your session starts, right? So 6 o'clock is the start time, and you could arrive as early as probably about 5:30 is what I'm going to say is a half hour.
I can even add that to the description.
Yeah, so we can even probably even change the time, even to just say 5:30, so that people know to show up at 5:30 for the 6 o'clock session. That session will then run for 4 hours from 6 o'clock, basically. So 6 to 10, and then on Saturdays we'll be starting at 9. So arrival times will start at 8:30. We'll start the first session at 9. And that'll go for 4 hours, so till 1 o'clock. And then we'll have a break for an hour so that we can get stuff cleaned up and restocked. And then half hour, I guess. Arrival time start at 1:30. Next session starts at 2 o'clock, and so on. So it will be very strict with those times, I guess. So basically, if you're booked for a 6 o'clock session and you show up at 6, there's a chance you're going to be waiting while the next game finishes up to get your stuff ready and get you in. So make sure you show up early to get booked in and set up. So, but yeah, I think it's going to run really smooth. The way that we have the staging area right now and kind of our thought process on how it's going to work will be really efficient, I think. So anyway, we got a couple questions. So Trevor, for the game on Saturday, basically the plan is the games that we play at Midway are going to influence the game at the factory. So we may even be playing it by ear a little bit, just depending on weather. If we get to a point where it's really cold at Midway and people just want to kind of get rolling on with the rest of the evening, then we may kind of go over to the factory, whatever that point is. And then once we're at the factory, there's going to be, depending on the number of people that come to the event, there's going to be a restricted number of people allowed on the factory floor at a time. And so the storyline will play into how we play those games. I'm not going to reveal a lot about that because obviously you're going to find out on Saturday. But it'll be more of an objective-based game mode that we'll play, and we may have multiple rounds of that so that we can get everybody through that. Depending on where we're at with time after that, we may allow some open play, some kind of team deathmatch type of stuff. But at that point, the event, the World War II event, effectively will be finished, and we'll just kind of kick people out when we need to kick people out. We are still going to be working on some stuff at that point, so we're not going to go for hours and hours and hours at the factory, unfortunately, because we've got to get it ready for the opening on Monday. But it will be a little bit more milsim-y, more objective-based, and more the objective for us with the factory and this event specifically is really to get as many of you guys through there as many times as possible within a certain amount of time so that we don't end up running super late in the evening, because I'm probably going to be there late in the evening working to finish stuff up. Yeah. So
yeah, I expect a couple hours.
Yeah.
Jagger, good question. We have plans for electronic peripherals for capture flag, demolition, all that kind of stuff. Eventually, we actually spoke about that this week. A lot of those things are just to be blunt, very expensive investments. And we would love to have some of these super crazy things that everyone wants. And so one day, yes, we have plans. We want to have those things. It's we just got to get to the point where that makes sense for us to start really putting some of those crazy investment things into the field. So come play.
I mean, in the meantime, like we do currently have 3 simulation explosive devices. I'm going to say it that way on the live stream. We have 3 simulated explosive devices that have several different game modes on them that we are planning on using, and we'll probably use, exclusively at our events, obviously at Midway and at the island and at the factory. So we have those kind of at our disposal whenever we want to incorporate them. But yeah, we've talked about several different ideas for capture points, and capture the flag is easy. We've got all that stuff, and we can easily post that wherever we want. But a lot of those decisions will be made as we kind of see how the field plays and how we need to change those game modes to work in that setting. So that's a good question about shields, Blake. I don't like shields. I think we're for the most part, I think we're going to disqualify shields.
Yeah, so. I don't think they play very well. Well, actually, they might play really well in the factory is the problem.
I think about how it is when people run shields at like the haunted hospital, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah. There might be, I can see specific training scenarios or game modes or something where something like that would be helpful. But in general, I'd say, there's going to be no shields allowed for general open play.
Plus, it's going to take up a lot of room in my staging area, and I don't like that.
Staging area, we've got plenty of room, but at the same time,
sets it on the table.
Yeah, takes up 3/4 of the table there.
Yeah. Cool. We may update the ROE to just include that at some point, but I think
that's gonna be a semi-living document for the next little while, I think.
Yeah. Cool. What else? What other questions do you guys have about the factory?
Yeah. If you guys have any other questions about rules or anything, now's the time to ask. If there aren't any other rules, I think we can dive into some of the PPE stuff, your face masks and stuff. Well, when it comes to indoor, which I think probably most of these people on the live stream actually have a fair amount of indoor experience. But when it comes to indoor, it's you don't want to wear just a basic like mouth guard and glasses, right? Going to something be a little bit more protective. And so I think most of us are probably going to end up switching over to paintball masks for the indoor field specifically. And so we've got a handful of options we want to kind of show off tonight. We are continuously testing. We've got a handful more masks that we are going to be testing before we sell them, because we want to make sure they live up to what they should be. But right now we've got a handful in stock, and I think a lot of you guys have seen them, but kind of let's talk through some of those features and things.
Yeah. So we'll get to some of you guys' questions here in a second. Those are good questions, but yeah, we wanted to show these off a little bit. So, man, I didn't realize how much actually came in this box. So this is a Dye i5, DYE i5 mask. This is probably one of the most expensive, but also most feature-rich paintball masks on the market. So obviously it comes with this nice reflective lens on it. The lenses on this are fairly inexpensive. I think I've seen them.
They're like $65
to $75 mark, depending on the shade.
Yeah.
This is the coolest thing about this mask, though, is it has a quick dial adjustment on the back of this cushion here. So when you put it on, you can put it on loose and then really rapidly crank that thing down to be just perfectly snug on your
that's the big selling point, on top of all the other amazing no fog features and stuff like that. That's the big thing that sets it apart from like the i4 and stuff, is that cam system or BOA system. Because it's not truly a BOA.
Yeah,
but it's
lock system.
Yes, but that is going to be one of the most comfortable masks that you can get. We're also looking at we've got the Dye Axon, I believe. Do we have that right there, Joseph?
Axis. Yeah, Axis.
I mean,
Yeah, so this one's a little bit smaller of a face profile, I guess, like top to bottom. I posted a picture. It's backwards in the camera. I posted a picture of my daughter wearing this one because it actually fits her head really well, and she's 7. So I think they'll definitely fit grown people, but with a shorter chin, I'm going to say this is probably going to be a lot more fit for smaller people.
Yeah.
But same thing, replaceable lenses, comes with the thermal lens built into it. You can get parts for all these from Dye directly. The cushions on these are just kind of this regular black foam. It's soft, but I've worn some of these for training for a while, and they get really, I guess, abrasive on your forehead when you wear them for a long time. I've noticed about masks like this.
I don't think it'll be too bad because most of those times those are like community masks.
Yeah.
And so for personal,
definitely gonna be a lot better. But I love that they did this on the i5. It's got this like soft, like a brushed cotton on the inside of it, and I bet it probably helps a lot with sweat. Like,
I'm sure.
Huge amount of sweat.
And the venting in those, I know a handful of people who use those consistently, and they almost can't get them to fog even when they try. Like
you can see the vents in the top.
Yeah, and so that's one of the big things. They've got thermal lens and all that stuff, and so they're just really, really hard to fog. So when you're playing indoors and there's not fans everywhere or wind blowing through your face when you have like outdoors, these things are awesome to not fog. So we got the Dye i5s right now. We can get obviously just about any of the Dye masks in most colorways, if not all colorways, as well as we're going to be testing one of the Empire paintball masks. Those look really promising. I've had a handful of buddies use those and say really good things. And then we've also got the some of the base HK masks in. Yeah. Those are awesome. It's what we use for rentals, and they work great. They're just not nearly as feature rich or
they're really great. But like all the same types of features, like the venting's really good. It's got the thermal lens, the replaceable foam pieces around the eyes. And they come in. There's a couple different models. I actually just ordered one of their higher end models to try out.
Do you want to show how the i5 is also flexible? It's like a rubber base versus a hard plastic.
Yeah, so like this is like a harder plastic. It really doesn't move around much, but this i5 is like very flexible.
Yeah,
like it's more like a plasticized rubber. Like it's very flexible.
You can't quite get a really good cheek weld unless if you're running one of the crazy tall optic risers, and even then it's a little bit of a push to get to work with a tall optic. So they're not perfect, but it's pretty dang good overall. We messed with the other day and they're pretty good.
These ear covers are like a hard, flexible foam, like an EVA foam. This up here. So like you got a decent amount of protection, but also like it's very flexible. The nice thing about that, I think, is like everybody's head is kind of different. Like I put one of these on, and to be honest, like my head is way too big for this. It doesn't like really cover my chin or anything. Yeah. But like as far as fitting the circumference of my head, it didn't have a problem with that. Like it molds more to your shape of your head, no matter who you are. This is kind of big. In fact, like our youth-sized masks, we actually get the Valken MI3s because they have a thermal lens and everything. But they're a much smaller and slimmer mask. And that's what we have to actually have different sized masks for rentals because these will fit a lot of people, but they're just big and rigid and they're not comfortable for some people. So, and then of course, like you can just wear the standard mesh mask with even the Puramex glasses that we sell with the gasket in them, those meet all the requirements for safety. I think a lot of people are going to start getting into these though. The more Puramex glasses are great, but they will fog eventually.
Especially in those conditions.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, you think about indoor play, you're going to be moving a lot faster and sweating more and all that stuff. So yeah, I would expect to fog in almost just about every single pair of glasses out there.
Yeah. All right, so let's hit some of these questions real quick.
Yes.
So going back up in the comments, we had Trevor asked, "What is no feathering?"
Yes.
So feathering is when you intentionally remove your hand from the grip and slap the trigger really fast with your finger. Or if you have a double trigger and you kind of hold your hand out like a paintball gun, you feather your fingers over the trigger to get it to shoot faster. That's another thing we're going to have to kind of hit as a case-by-case basis, but a lot of the newer features or the newer ETUs for HPA systems have an automatic pacing system built into them, like the old paintball guns, so that when you get into a fast single or a fast semi-auto trigger, it ramps into a full auto burst.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to keep an eye on some of those as they pop up, because technically it is still semi-auto. You're actuating the trigger, and you can set it to only actuate the trigger as fast as you could pull the trigger. But it's one of those issues that
it's not semi-auto at that point, right? Because it's ramping. It's a whole nother class.
It could, and that's the thing is you could set it to do whatever you want. You could set it to ramp up to 30 rounds a second, or you could set it to ramp up to 6 rounds a second. It totally depends. I know Blake and I were messing with some of the features on one of the Titan 2s that he had installed into an HPA setup, and the ramping feature was awesome. If you wanted to, basically, you could shoot fast in semi-auto, and it would ramp into the pace he had it set. Basically, made it feel like binary, which was nice, but it is technically not semi-auto. So basically, if it is a true semi-auto and your hand is on the grip and you're not taking your hand off and spamming your trigger like this, you're not feathering your finger on the trigger, that would be against the rules. That would be feathering the trigger. Trevor asked, so is my own finger against the rules? No, your own finger, your own semi-auto rate of fire is just fine. Trevor shoots really fast. And part of that is that those mechanical HPA systems that he and I use a lot they're quick. Like they're you can shoot very fast. You can shoot a lot faster than an electronic HPA system too. But I'd say even a mechanical HPA system is leaps and bounds over the speed of a standard AEG.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So okay. So that's no feathering. Will we always need to book our tickets online? That's a good question. I don't know.
With the current system we have now, yes. We have looked into a handful of different systems trying to figure things out. Where we have a fairly small amount of players. Like right now, we're capping it at 30. We're going to adjust that if we can fit more people and still have fun, or if it's like, dude, that's way too many people, we'll drop that down. We're going to make sure you guys have the best experience possible while we're still able to maximize that field space. And so as of right now, it'll be booking online, and long term, there's a good chance that'll change one day in the future, and that could be anywhere from 3 months to 3 years. So,
So currently it'll be online, and then there'll be a check-in process when you show up. We encourage you to have your ticket ready or your receipt ready, whatever your email, just to show us, and that'll kickstart your check-in process basically, and we'll get everything in line from there as far as chrono and getting you what you need to play and all that stuff. So
make sure we're signing waivers and things like that. Not too great. Let's see here. What's the next one? Flashlights. Okay. Oh, flashing lights. Like, Jeff, are you talking like a strobe light or like
I'd say, yeah, strobes. So we have a rule in there specifically about staging lights, right? So you can have a flashlight on your person. You can have a flashlight on your weapon. That flashlight cannot be set anywhere. In the past, we've had a lot of issues in some places of people basically turning on a strobe or turning on a super bright light and setting it somewhere to make it difficult for other people to move without being seen. So that'll be restricted. But as far as like a flashlight that you carry that you use while you're shooting, doesn't matter. You can run a strobe all you want. You can run a regular flashlight, whatever, as long as it's on your person or mounted to your shotgun, your pistol, your rifle, whatever. And to answer your other question, tri-shot shotguns are great. Yeah, you can definitely run a tri-shot, 6-shot, 12-shot, whatever shotgun you want, as long as it isn't in a full auto function.
And it's airsoft. And it meets our
FPS. Yeah, airsoft is
that should be a given.
That's what I'm really excited about this build for, is to be able to use shell ejecting guns. Because realistically, that's been my biggest holdback from using like one of the Cam 870 shotguns, is that you got to spend all the money on the shotgun, you got to spend all the money on the shells, you got to spend all the money on the refill station, and then you go around using it and you have to like go pick up your shotguns or your shells out of the dirt afterward. It's like, or get one of the catch things or whatever. But in here, it doesn't matter. You can play a 15-minute game and spend 5 minutes afterward just going around picking up shotgun shells. And if you've got a good team that'll help you do it, then that's even more fun. But that'd be cool.
I wish shell ejecting ARs were a more realistic thing to use. Those things are so cool.
They're so cool. And like, especially I've thought a lot like movie props. They make great movie props, obviously. But yeah, it's just so much to have to clean up. Like I've got a shell ejecting lever action that I don't do anything with because
it's a pain, but it's so cool. Maybe one day we'll do a full shell ejecting game. Realistically, probably not, but that's a dream of ours. I think it'd be fun.
Your laser engrave your information on each shell so that we can get it back to the right owner.
I do like the idea of doing a full, we talked about in the past, but a full gas blowback rifle game. Mm-hmm. I think that would be just awesome. Yeah. So I think it's something we'll schedule that out a ways out, but I still think that'd be just a crazy fun time.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, I didn't mention this earlier. I was going to say this. I guess we got a little. The i5s also come with one of these, which is awesome.
Yeah.
This has been one of the biggest stresses with me with masks. It's like, man, I got to find a bag to put them in so they don't get ruined. And the i5 just comes with one. So, like, yeah, it may be a $200 mask, but like I said, they're basically protecting your investment out of the box, which is awesome.
Yeah. Blank fire grenades, great question. That is a case-by-case basis. So if you have one and plan to use one, talk to an admin when you get there.
Yeah.
Ear Pro is not required, but highly recommended. Highly recommended. Ammon has just joined us, so I will bring him on here, and I want to do the other guy. I don't know if I can do that. How do I rotate through this? We're learning on the job, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this way?
Ooh.
Oh, shift 4.
What's up?
You have to hit shift 4 or something.
Shift 4. Let's do that. I'm not seeing anything. Let's see here. Oh, that's not okay. That's not working. Oh, perfect. Okay, there we go.
Maybe it had an issue here.
Dragged it over and it did that. All right, Ammon. So Ammon is in the factory right now. He's just kind of walking around on the floor. Can you get to a vantage point where we can show everybody the basic floor plan so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Just give me a second. Let me throw a ladder up here, and then we can get up there.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah. So the cool part about the factory, we discovered this really right when we first moved in and started working, is that there's kind of a cool loft area that won't be open access to everybody right now, but it makes a really good vantage point for if you want to watch the events. The idea is that hopefully some point we can make easy access there to get up to the vantage point so that you can see the whole field from basically the top of the facility, which is really freaking cool.
Yeah, that's going to be a hopefully it's not too echoey in here. That's going to be a really fun aspect of the field and the play. We would like to be able to make it so people can watch, but man, I'm so excited. You can kind of see behind me some of the features of this. Like, it's just an old industrial style factory here. So here in a second, I'll get up on this balcony so people can kind of see what the field's looking like. So super exciting.
Awesome. Cool. Are you gonna be able to get upstairs to kind of do an overview of what the field looks like?
Yeah, I'm headed that way. I'm headed that way right now. So
sweet. Yeah, while Ammon is doing that, Thomas asked, what's the max amount of players on the field? Currently, our sessions are capped at 30. We may change that at some point. Well, it just depends on kind of how things go. We'll figure some of that out as we go. Obviously, we would like to have as many people in there at a time as possible, because that means we sold more tickets. That's my goal, is to get as many of you there as possible. But at the risk of losing sales, we don't want to over pack the facility. And so we may do 15 versus 15, but what that will probably look like actually will be a 30-person session, and we may even have 7 and 8-man teams, or 7 or 8-man teams, rotating through every 15 minutes so that we get as much playtime as possible. So one team or one crew, one set is basically reloading and getting ready while the other is out playing, and we just continually swap back and forth so there's no delay between games.
Yep.
Okay, I got up here.
All right.
Awesome.
I don't know if I can turn my camera around, but I can turn around myself.
Perfect.
Okay. I'll try not to walk off the edge here.
Please don't.
Okay, so from up here, you can see we've started some of the framing. Most of the framing is actually done. We just got to stand the walls up and then sheet them. So this whole wall here, this whole western side here, is just rooms. They're individually framed rooms. Got 5 rooms with some hallways as well. Varying configurations with doorways, windows. You know, it's going to be very playable, but it's very much CQB, where you're clearing rooms like it's a house on that side. Here in the center of the field, let's see if I can point the right way backwards. Here in the center of the field, we're going to have a lot of more mobile type structures, whether that cover, we can switch the field up in that location, you know, at our discretion. This part of the field can be changed. It will be a lot more open, kind of the same covers that we would use. Imagine a bunch of smaller covers in like the haunted hospital or somewhere like that, where, you know, Joseph and Derek, you might have a better explanation than I do on that, of, you know, super playable, but it's going to be more open. There's not going to be rooms. You're going to be leapfrogging up through cover. And then on the other side here, on this side, we have another 3 rooms plus some random cover in the middle at these doors and stuff that's going to be mobile as well. So the field's going to be very, very playable. There's really 3 good fighting lanes, but in a space this size, those 3 fighting lanes are going to intercross. You're going to be fighting. If you think you can just stick in one lane and stay in it and watch your flanks, then you're probably going to get lit up. You're going to get shot. So you've got to watch all your angles, and you've got to protect your flanks. And it's good. It's going to be great to be able to work as a team and figure out some team play in here. So if your team leaves you out on an island, you're probably it's not gonna go well for you. So
yeah, it's gonna be good though.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, so Thomas, about 30% of the field is totally open, movable cover. Even the other structures, I'd say, like, yeah, they'll be semi-permanent. But even then, like, realistically, if we needed to change something, it's a matter of a day to just swap some stuff around. So most of that is pretty well thought out, I think, for the most part. We were really intentional about how we designed the rooms and the structures themselves. There will be some cover on each end for the spawn points. And even the way that we designed exiting those spawn points, we thought of just about every contingency we could to eliminate spawn trapping and getting stuck. We wanted to provide as many routes as possible for everybody to get everywhere in the whole field. So yeah, let's we're really excited to try it out to see how all of that runs. But I think for the most part, we've definitely thought through most of it. So let us know if we're totally wrong, but we'll try it just to see if our line of thinking was right, I guess.
Yeah, we always want feedback. I think the first couple of weeks are going to be kind of rough, like any new idea and things like that in any new field. So we'll want to hear feedback after each session and things to get things adjusted and maximize that area. So, and Thomas, to answer your question, there are 30 tickets available for day one. If especially guys come from Utah, make sure to buy a ticket before you make that drive. All tickets will be sold online going forward. As of now, that may change in the future. But as of now, buy them online. If you guys need a link, hop on our Facebook page. I've posted it there, or check out our website and go to Play at the Factory.
Yeah. Cool. Well, any other questions, let us know. We're going to kind of wind this down so I can get over there to help Ammon finish some stuff up. But that's a great question, Thomas. So annual memberships, we haven't really talked about annual memberships. We've talked about a monthly membership. We will need to figure out how we're going to go about doing that with the purchasing side of things. I don't know if that would be like a coupon code that you get to use that you could implement each time you check out or something. I don't know.
Well, Thomas, that's something that we really, really want to do is a monthly or annual membership of some sort. And trying to figure out what that means and things like that is still something we're trying to nail down. We want something that's going to be valuable to, like, something that people want to purchase and that is worth it, but at the same time is not, I don't know. I guess I don't know if there's a way that we could really get screwed over by that, but we're still trying to nail down all those details and how it would work on the back end. That's the big thing is we're new to all these ticketing processes and stuff. And so we're trying to figure it all out. But yeah, that is something that we really do want to offer for a lot of those guys who play frequently because it gets expensive and we understand that. So we're working on that.
Yeah. Cool. Comment codes at the desk for check-in. I don't know. Yeah, we probably should do that.
We'll probably do a full survey.
Yeah.
I'm working on that.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Cool. Well, anything else we want to hit on before I go help Ammon?
I don't think so. Ammon, you got anything else from the field or?
Hey, I'm not. No, I think it's just super loud in here, even when it's no one's talking. Just the sound of a industrial building echoes a lot. No, we're really excited, guys. I think this is going to be, it's a game changer for sure. We're super excited to experience it. So come out and come try it out so we can make it better. So that's all I got.
That's a great question, Thomas. Parking is right now there's, I'd say, a decent amount of parking. We definitely have enough parking spots available for 30. We'll have to figure out a good way to mark that, but it's a long building with lots of parking area next to it. Ammon, if you can, maybe go over and just kind of show off the staging area a little bit. So the staging area, I think that's what you're talking about, the main room, I guess. The staging area is obviously the same width as the field and about 18 feet long or wide. I don't know. It depends on which way you look at it. There will be individual entry and exits marked for the field. So as people are coming off the field, we could have people going on the field at the same exact time. Restrooms, there is one bathroom in the facility, and that's going to be up in that loft area. So, but it's a fully furnished bathroom, obviously. Also upstairs will be, eventually we'll have items for sale there as well. So that'll be fully furnished as a pro shop for you guys to get what you want to buy there. So, yeah.
Okay, so here's that area, guys. So, we have our door, one of our doors coming either in or out of the field right here. But this whole space here is going to be set up for just staging area and concessions. So, a lot of space. You're going to have tables and stuff built here. We still have to do that part. So we'll build this area out, though, so you can, have your spot, get your stuff. There's even power to charge your crap if you really want to. So we'll be able to just line up and super usable space. Lots of ins and outs to, like Joseph said, that's where our entrance into the building and into the factory is, and then both play in and play out doors. As we get closer, or I guess we are there, there'll be, up at the front desk there'll be a chrono station. You'll have to come chrono your weapon or your replica, excuse me. You have to come chrono your replica, YouTube, at the front desk. And then over at the exit room, there's going to be a shoot box. You cannot shoot in any situation inside this room. So there'll be a shoot box. You'll have to discharge your weapon. Once the game ends, we don't want anyone discharging on the field. You'll come to the shoot box, and you'll discharge into that box. That way there's just no accidents. We're just cleaning up any safety accidents.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Thomas, no, tracers and flashlights are not required for a standard game. We will probably have like low light nights or special events where we have, different requirements at some point, but that'll be posted in advance, and we'll have special events set up for that. We've talked a little bit about that here in the shop, about some of those events happening soon. So yeah, flashlights and trace units are not required, but I'd say they're strongly recommended because even as bright as it is in there, you can see how well lit it is. A tracer unit is still going to be visible, and flashlights are still going to be effective, especially if it's a good bright flashlight. We're not requiring barrel covers right now. I'm going to say that's totally for right now, as long as the rules are followed and we don't have any issues with the shoot box and no shooting inside the staging area. We won't require barrel covers unless we're told to require them by insurance or something.
I'd expect long term that we'll end up requiring them. Is the expectation. And
at some point, that'll probably be more than just at the indoor field. It'll probably be at all of our fields.
Yeah, probably.
HPA fill station when? We're working on that still.
We're working on it. Believe me, we want one just as bad as you do, Trevor. We're working on it.
We're gonna budget for that once we know what our budget looks like after we're done building. Yeah. So come support us, and I promise you, the more you come, the sooner we'll have an HPA station.
Yeah, we've got a lot of big dreams, guys. We'll tell you that. We just need to test the market to make sure that we can support all the things. So we'll get there.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, guys. Well, Joseph and Ammon need to get to build in the field, and so we're going to end tonight. If you guys have more questions, feel free to comment on any of our posts about the factory or send us a message. We'll be happy to answer any of those questions, especially where there's a lot that's probably going to be changing over the next few weeks as we're perfecting all these systems. But we're super excited to get this going, and wanted to say thanks for all the support.
Yeah,
we're stoked.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, we we may go live next week. We're not quite sure yet. With the factory will be running next Tuesday, so we will see what's going on there.
We probably will at some level, even if it's just a quick update. But.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we will talk to you guys next week in some form or fashion, and we'll see those on Saturday at the World War II event with a quick little factory vignette, and we will see all the guys who get tickets for Monday for launch. So we're stoked.
Okay.
We'll see you.